I never thought a pile of rocks could start a war, but Gary did. Gary was my fire pit, a circle of clearance rack stones I'd stacked in the backyard of my new house in the pines at Blandview Farms, a subdivision in Littleton, Colorado, where every mailbox looked the same and every lawn was exactly 2.5 inches tall. I called it Gary because it had personality, rough, unpretentious, ready to roast marshmallows and tell stories around a crackling flame. My name is Mark Harlan, 52, divorced, father of 2, and the proud owner of a 1978 ranch-style house that stuck out like a sore thumb among the beige stucco McMansions. I'd bought it for the yard, the quiet, and the chance to grill steaks without a committee vote. Sarah, my wife, warned me the first week. Mark, the HOA here is run by Evelyn Grant. She's the type who measures grass with a ruler. I laughed. Let her measure. I'm just a guy with a fire pit. The idea for Gary came on a Thursday afternoon at Lowe's. I was wandering the garden section, pushing a cart loaded with mulch and a new hose, when I spotted the pallet of a regular flagstone marked down to $3 apiece. They were odd shapes, chipped edges, the kind of stones nobody wanted for a fancy patio. Perfect for a guy who wanted something real. I loaded 27 of them into the truck bed, the weight making the suspension groan. At home, I cleared a 10-foot circle in the grass, leveled the dirt with a rake, and started stacking. No mortar, no plan, just instinct. The first layer went down crooked. I pulled it up, started again. By the time the sun dipped low, I had a solid ring 3 stones high, a fire ring in the center, and a flat capstone for a seat. I stepped back, wiped sweat from my brow, and grinned. Gary. Sarah came out with lemonade. You named it already? He told me his name. I said. Gary's got character. She shook her head, but she was smiling. The kids ran circles around it, already planning the first fire. Jake, 10 going on 15, wanted to cook hot dogs. Mia, 8 and fearless, wanted to see how high the flames could go. I promised them both. Gary's debut was a Saturday in June. The air was warm, the kind of Colorado evening where the mountains turned purple against the sky. I'd bought hickory chunks from the hardware store, the good stuff that smells like campfires in childhood. The kids helped stack the wood in a log cabin formation while Sarah set out the fixings, graham crackers, Hershey bars, marshmallows the size of softballs. I struck the match. The kindling caught quick, flames licking up the sides, popping and snapping. The smoke rose straight and clean. For 7 glorious minutes, life was perfect. The kids roasted marshmallows, arguing over golden brown versus charred. Sarah took pictures. I leaned back in my chair, beer in hand, feeling like the king of my little kingdom. Then came the thwack 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 of New Balance sneakers on asphalt. Evelyn appeared at the property line, silver ponytail tight as a drum, visor aimed like a sniper scope. She didn't speak at first. She unclipped her pen. Click. And scribbled on her clipboard with the fury of a woman writing the 10 Commandments in stone. Sarah, watching from the kitchen window, mouthed, "Told you." Evelyn finished her attack on the paper, tapped the clipboard once for emphasis, and thwack thwack thwacked away. The next morning, a laminated letter was taped to my front door with enough packing tape to wrap a mummy. Violation 47. Unapproved permanent open flame installation. $500 fine. $100 daily until removal. CC'd to the board, code enforcement, and the landscaping committee. I read it over coffee, the plastic crinkling under my fingers. Permanent? Gary was dry-stacked stones. I could nudge him 6 inches with my boot. I emailed the board. Gary is movable. See attached photo of nudge. They replied in 14 minutes. A refrigerator is movable. You can't keep it on your lawn. Section 5B. Ron, the treasurer, chimed in. Mark, just move the rocks. Evelyn shut him down. Ron, you're not taking this seriously. The email war raged for days. I cited city code. Fire pits allowed if 25 feet from structures, contained, attended. Evelyn cited community standards and visual coherence. I cited the First Amendment right to roast marshmallows in peace. She cited nuisance smoke and potential health hazard to sensitive residents. My dog doesn't have asthma, I wrote. Princess had a sneezing fit, Evelyn shot back. Officer Ramirez arrived Tuesday night. He looked like a man who'd rather be anywhere else. Uncontrolled burn, he said, eyeing Gary's cold ashes. It's a Coors Light and existential crisis, officer. He sighed the sigh of 1,000 HOA calls. By code, you're fine. 25 feet, water source, no burn ban. But the paperwork. He left with a warning and a plea. Don't make me come back. My kids got T-ball. Victory lasted until the emergency HOA meeting. Evelyn projected my house on the screen, edited to look like a haunted shack next to a neighbor's perfect stucco palace. This eyesore threatens property values. Vote 78% for voluntary relocation incentive. They wanted me gone. I didn't attend. I documented. Then I found the loophole in Section 7C. Portable cooking appliances permitted, including smokers. Smokers make smoke. Evelyn couldn't touch smoke from an approved appliance. I ordered a Tandoori, 400 pounds of clay, and steel vengeance on wheels. It arrived on a pallet jack, a beige cylinder of suburban rebellion. Stonework Steve and other Steve poured a reinforced pad. Facing her window, Steve asked with a grin. Centered for optimal aroma distribution. Curing the clay produced gentle puffs. Evelyn photographed. I slapped dough at 800 degrees. Garlic naan blistered perfect. The smell conquered the neighborhood. Bready char, sizzling butter, a fog of delicious defiance. Dave appeared over the fence, nose twitching. Mark, what is that? Garlic naan, I boomed. Come hither. He brought beer. The Millers brought tortillas. Cynthia, HOA secretary, brought potato salad. Ron brought a spreadsheet for toppings rotation. Evelyn marched in, face puce. This is an unlicensed bakery. I held up cheese stuffed naan. Portable cooking appliance, Section 7C. One apiece. The crowd, my crowd, held plates of my bread. She had no power. She stomped off, blinds snapping shut. Non-Saturdays became legend. The Tandoori united us. Evelyn focused on pet waste DNA testing. I focused on perfect char. Gary's sacrifice birthed community. The circle where he stood faded, but his spirit lived in every blistered bite. What about you? Ever turned a rule into rebellion? Ever fed a neighborhood with spite and dough? Share below. Where do you stand when control freaks demand conformity? When injustice hides in bylaws? Your story matters. I read every one.